YouTube, what's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Warhammer 2. Gonna be doing some online battle. Yes, I brought the double witch hunters. There's a reason. I was expecting potentially a dragon, so I brought Boris on foot, which means he'd get knocked around like a ragdoll while he's healing, and make a good opportunity for the witch hunters to do their work. After being previously defeated by the Dark Elves and people saying I should have tried artillery, well, guess what? I tried artillery. So I've got 2 cannons and 2 howitzers, so I'm gonna own the Dark Elves from range. They actually brought 3 bolt throwers. Now bolt throwers are actually really good against artillery if they can get in range, but their bolts will destroy artillery pieces relatively quick. So they can be bad news. That's why I brought a lot of artillery instead of just a little. If you're gonna bring it, I guess bring it, right? So that's what I've done here. But anyway, you can see I'm focusing my fire, and we've almost wiped out 1 bolt thrower unit already. But his bolt throwers are going to start to destroy guns on my units pretty quickly. They get a little bit of time to fire. So you can see that we're going to do tremendous damage, though, to his bolt thrower in return. Now he's got a lot of infantry, too. It's a ton of Dark Art Corsairs, or Black Art Corsairs. And then he's got some Witch Elves in the back, along with a couple of Blackguard and then Morathi. So, to explain his build a little bit, I'm not sure exactly why he did this build, honestly. I played him in a battle previous to this, and in that battle I picked Bretonnia, and he picked Chaos. I picked a cheesy all-cav Bretonnia build, and he had Chaos Warriors with Halberds, so I mean, and Kolek, so that was going nowhere. It was just a cheesy build, didn't work. And he wrecked me. I admitted defeat. In this battle, I'm not sure what he expected from me, but I brought an unbreakable front line of flagellants, figuring that, hey, at least they won't die super quick. I'm going to do a ton of damage to his Black Art Corsairs with my howitzers, and then I'm also destroying his artillery pieces with my own. So, but you can see his artillery pieces are doing a fair bit of damage. When they get close enough, they hurt. I'm going to go ahead and bring the Empire Knights through because Black Art Corsairs definitely do not like cavalry. In fact, they get absolutely owned by cavalry. So I'm going to charge back out, let the flagellants charge in. So you can see now the flagellants charging forward. And they'll do okay. They won't do great, but they'll do okay. So there we go. We got our charges in. He's going to bring up his Blackguard. I'm going to bring over here and charge the Spearman, which is coming on my flank because it's not braced. And I just want to prevent it from getting to my artillery. My artillery, again, took a lot of damage, but his artillery is basically dead at this point. This one's down to 1 gun, just to show you how quick those things can destroy guns. I've lost several guns. I have to fall back over here and use my Witch Hunter. My Witch Hunter's got a hold of Morathi. And look, the Witch Hunters are actually hunting a witch. You know? It's the first time for everything. So there's Morathi. And the Witch Hunters are accusing her of wearing nothing but nipple armor into battle. And the accusations are working. And then she's also getting beat up by Todbringer. She got way too courageous in this fight. Now, he wrapped around one flank with the Blackguard. And then over here, some Witch Elves are driving some of my units crazy. So definitely not an ideal situation. But now he's blobbed up fighting. And my artillery can just unleash on him. And that's what the flagellants are used for. They don't break. They hold these units still. And I'll do as much damage as I can. My Empire Knights have broken through. So I've got both units heading back to finish off his artillery. Probably should have just sent 1 unit and then started cycle charging because he's broken through here with a Blackguard, and it's a problem. This Witch Elf routes, thank goodness. But I mean, the power bar is really in my favor. But I mean, he has a lot of units left. I have a fair number of units left. But I think the 2 Witch Hunters, Morathi died on the battlefield momentarily. Or moments ago, and Boris Todbringer is just over here tanking out Blackguard while the artillery shoots the crap out of them. Some of his units start to come back from routing, and they come back close to my artillery, but he admits defeat. So, artillery did help a lot. I don't know that it would help against every Dark Elf build, but when you think about it, the Dark Elves would have to bring something like Cold One Spear Riders. And those could defeat probably Empire Knights, maybe Reichsguard, definitely not Demigryph Knights. And that's extra spin, right? And if you bring that cavalry though as the Dark Elves, it's just going to be fewer units that my artillery can focus on. So again, all I gotta do is kill your infantry, and then your cavalry probably won't be able to do a whole lot. And then the dragon, if you have a dragon, has to avoid these witch hunters and Boris. Boris is not gonna die easy because he's on foot. He just gets knocked around and he doesn't take a lot of damage and he heals. So that was the reason why I brought this. Now, weakness in my army, I have no magic. I don't have any magic. It's just the accusations, which is kind of a built-in spell. So in this case, things worked out pretty good. The cavalry were very important for me here, and then obviously the artillery. But his artillery did some significant damage along the way. It was... You can't underestimate these guys. If you leave them on their standard shot, not the anti-infantry shot, but their standard shot is actually pretty good at destroying artillery. The challenge with them is they have a very short range. But Reaper bolt throwers are good against infantry and artillery. So something to remember. Again, if they're in range. So another Boris double witch hunter build. Air, are you joining this double witch hunter meta? Nah, I was just trying some stuff out tonight because I wanted to play more Empire. So came up against Bretonnia, and my army's focus here is a bunch of great swords in the middle because I don't think Bretonnia can handle great swords. Foot squires are just better, or are worse, period. So great swords will win the infantry fight. He's going to have to use like a combination of units in order to defeat them, and it won't be easy. I've brought a bunch of free company militia because they'll be good against standard Bretonnian infantry, plus they shoot stuff, so why not? I felt it better than just picking swordsmen or something. I've got 4 standard spearmen and 1 flagellant. The standard spears are broken up on the flanks supporting an Empire Knight, and immediately we've discovered some yeoman archers in the forest. And I've got the same thing on this side, an Empire Knight with a couple of spearmen for support, because I know that the Bretonnian cavalry could be better than what I have. Now the main Bretonnian line is a bunch of men-at-arms. They're backed up by some polearms, and then some archers. Excuse me. Yeah, archers with pox arrows. So interesting choice with the pox arrows. And then he's got some knights errant back here. Or sorry, knights of the realm. My bad. 3 Knights of the Realm. So he does have a pretty significant anti-cavalry force. And Knights of the Realm double as a nice shock cavalry against infantry because of their decent armor, shields, and huge charge bonus. So that's the fight here. I'm feeling like at this point, you know, it's like I was going to draw back a little on this flank. I'm not worried about his yeoman archers. They're going to cause minimal damage because I'm in the woods. So I really couldn't care less at this point. So I'm kind of just thinking about what to do with all my units. I'm going to line up my main infantry into a fight. He's not firing at me with his pox arrows just yet. So I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get lined up. I'm going to smash his men-at-arms. And that's going to create problems for him because his center can't hold against me at this point. I think if he really wanted to have a chance here, what he really needs to do, and I'm not sure if it would work or not, but if you think about it, he's got these 3 Knights of the Realm, and they're scooting around a flank where they know there's a whole bunch of spearmen. And you see, he's got a couple of polearms himself to help protect his archers momentarily. So what I would do if I were him is I would have taken those cavalry and gone straight into my great swords. Nice downhill charge here. They would have gotten some pretty epic damage done. Don't think it would have helped him completely defeat my great swords, but at least could have dragged this fight out. Because we're going to see what happens when those great swords enter combat, and then his cavalry has to try and figure out a way to get at my cavalry without getting caught by spears. Now his pox arrows start firing at my free company militia. Okay. I don't really need the free company militia terribly bad in this plan. So again, great swords against men-at-arms. The Empire's troops are going to win this, and then flagellants will also destroy the men-at-arms. So you can see that the infantry fight very quickly starting to go in my favor, and then my 2 witch hunters could be tempting to go after Lewin, but really the proper target here is the damsel, because she can heal the Bretonnian army, and I can't have that. I'm going to try and get sneaky with my cavalry here. I'm going to shoot this little gap in the lines because his polearms weren't in position. And then my spearmen, though, get out of position here, so he is going to get around my flank here. But I get around his flank, and I'm going to deliver a crushing rear charge. It won't destroy the damsel, and it won't destroy the Grail Relic, but it's going to leave them alone. So rear charge already successful, and then same thing here. I'm going to shoot this gap and go straight for the archers. His polearms wanted to come fight my free company militia, and I'm like, sure, I'll take that fight all day long, and these guys are going to shoot you in the back. The spearman, I mean, he doesn't really know what to do with his archers at this, or his horse archers. One Empire Knight breaking through. My Free Company Militia here get wrecked, but it gives my spears a chance to catch up. And then these Free Company Militia are going to last long enough to let the Great Swords come over into this fight too. So now his Knights of the Realm got blobbed up, and they're not really in a good spot in life. We've crushed his front line, as expected. He definitely needed to support his front line with the cavalry, because my front line was just massively superior. He tried to break free with his Knights of the Realm, so I charged him with Empire Knights just to try and keep him fixed and let my infantry keep doing some work. So that's all that's going on there. One Pox arrow's down. The damsel's going to actually come back from routing. She got jacked up by the witch hunters. You can see the bowmen are going to be hunted down. Boris is finishing off the Grail Relique. Or the Grail Relique's finishing off Boris, however you want to look at it. Boris should do pretty good against it for the most part. So these Free Company Militia, you can see they've held their own on this flank, did a good job, and then the ones over here actually held for long enough versus his cavalry to help me cause a lot of damage. His damsel got back and did some healing here, so not good for me. He's going to keep these cavalry alive longer. And then I kind of lose track of this Empire Knight back here because it's just chasing cavalry. And he has some regrouped infantry now that come back to threaten me. Fortunately, none of them are going to be highly effective. But anyway, that's all going on in the woods. Lewin is now getting accused of being a Bretonnian lord, I guess. But he's being accused. Maybe he is a witch. We should drown him. But in any case, the witch hunters are doing their job here. They're kind of cheesy. But that's what they do. I keep trying to shoot him, but he can't. Their line of sight blocked. So really they're only good at shooting stuff up in the air, I think, or really huge. Because see here, I've clicked an attack order to shoot, and they don't. They just keep walking forward. So I can't really do much. And then Boris, I'll give him an attack order over here on Lewin. The cavalry keeps getting caught up. And then over here, my Empire Knights just keep trying to frustrate his units in this vicinity. And it's working. Over here, his yeoman archers got brave and decided that, hey, maybe we're not peasants because we have a horse. And they charged my Free Company Militia. And then learned really quickly that Free Company Militia are superior in melee to yeoman archers. And then the spearmen came to really remind them of that. So, yeah. Yeoman archers are not going to beat anything in melee. People, just don't. It's not going to work. So you can see Lewin, my witch hunters, trying to shoot him to no avail, and Boris trying to get in here for an attack as well. Lewin's not getting away. The Great Swords are dishing out some nice armor-piercing damage. The Knights of the Realm are defeated, and my Empire Knights are chasing off his archers in the background. My opponent admits defeat, so tonight, both of the double Witch Hunter builds were successful, though it wasn't with Gelt. So I think these armies definitely have weaknesses. I think Bretonnia is, honestly, they're pretty bad right now in multiplayer. They're not unusable. They're okay. They've got some good units, a good pick, and a crafty player, and sure, they can do some damage, but I don't think Bretonnia is real good in multiplayer. You think about their artillery gets outdone by the Empire. Their cavalry technically gets outdone by the Empire because Demigryph Knights, you know. And so you really don't have a cavalry advantage. You don't have an infantry advantage because the Great Swords are better. You don't really have an archery advantage. I mean, crossbowmen are going to be just about as good as Bretonnian archers, and they're the same cost. Well, actually, I think they're a little more expensive for crossbowmen. You got more magic as the Empire. You got more lords as the Empire. You know, I don't really see any advantages for Bretonnia. Can they win? Sure. I think you get the right pick. You get a smart player, makes a smart pick. Empire player who just gets outpicked or outplayed, they can win. But obviously, I think going into this, whenever I picked Empire, and my opponent picked Bretonnia. So I didn't counter-pick him. In any case, good game to both my opponents. It was fun. Why have I been playing some Empire matches? I don't know. It just feels like I haven't spent a lot of time with the Empire in a long time. And they've got a nice varied roster. They are definitely not infallible. They've got weaknesses to some factions. But you saw tonight, we had some fun with it. Used an artillery army to good effect against the Dark Elves. And then we're able to use a heavy infantry army against Bretonnia to decent effect. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out. I'll be back with more videos soon. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. You'll be the first to know about it. Appreciate MSI sponsoring the channel, and thank you to my awesome viewers for being here each and every day. I love making this content for you, and I love knowing that you guys enjoy it. I'll see you tomorrow with some more Total War action.